How we doing? Hello, 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 Yvette. I am doing super, and I'm here to share some updates with everybody. I'm in my new place, and it is quite satisfying to be in Houston. A couple more people coming in here. So I have. It's been a couple weeks since I've done a video. I am in Houston. I have relocated, and I took a job as a head of risk management for a company out here, a very well-known company. And I have been relocating, so I have been really busy, and I don't think that I will get to do videos as often for at least the next couple of weeks. So I wanted to update everybody on what is happening and what is going on. I am super happy and super excited to be relocated. Houston is humid. How many of you live in parts of the country where it's really humid? It is crazy humid down here. Like you go out just to check the mail, and lo and behold, you get sticky. You realize it's only 91 degrees, but you get really sticky. Hello there. You get really sticky just going outside. You want to, just take out the trash or something. You're like, oh my God, Ohio is here. What part of Ohio, Yvette? Is it humid in Toronto? I have here, and this is the thing that it's in one of my other mugs. They come in these packets, and this is Reishi turmeric tea. You can get these on Amazon for a few dollars. Turmeric, and it has a blend of ginger root, organic licorice, lemongrass, orange peel, and some essential lemon oils. Folks, it tastes like you're having a sweet beverage, but there's no artificial sweetener added. There's no sugar added, and yet it's like drinking ginger cookies. That's what it's like. So I would get one of these. You just put it in hot water, and it's good to go instantly. I would totally recommend it. But so Cleveland area, we're actually from Columbus. Some of you don't know. We are the last generation, and the generation before them, they were German speakers. So they were Columbus, Ohio, and the Weller pottery people. Those are our relatives, Weller and then Heil, and then Mom married into the English Holman. So we get that from Dad's side. But really, we were all German up until there. Hot and humid here too. Because I come from San Antonio, throughout my life, it's not as humid there, even though it's about 2 hours and 20 minutes away. It's not as bad as here in Houston. But we get a lot of rain here in Houston, and the trees, I am in Kingwood, the trees are just sensational. So I wanted to share one of the things that's what I have today. I bought this mug, this $3.99 mug at Timewise Shell Station. It is actually the best mug I think I've had, because it's not one of those it's insulated, but it's not one of those that have a lip where you can't drink from it, and you can actually wash it out and clean it out. It's really good. Right now, I just put down a tall coffee with my mushrooms, the mushroom drops, and then I filled it back up with a little bit of Wild Red Diet. And here's one other thing, the benefit of living in Houston: PIB zero. You cannot get PIB zero anywhere else, or PIB really, unless you go to the right vendor that orders from them if you're in another place, and you can only get the regular. So this is the calorie-free PIB, and it is one of the best things in my opinion. I know it's not a healthy beverage. Speaking of healthy, HM Doc just made a donation of $2. Thanks for everything. You have changed my life. Thank you, sir, or ma'am, whichever the case may be, for that donation. I appreciate it very much. And the whole point of this all is to be the best version of ourselves. So 3 days ago, I had a splurge day like I haven't had in 3 years. I splurged so much. I probably had on the order of 7,500 calories, like old times. I can't eat that much anymore, but I did. And lo and behold, I lost weight. The next day I was down, or the next day and a half, I was down 3 pounds. So as a result, I'm not eating. I'm just doing beverages. I'm probably going to go a third day now and not eat anything just to clean myself out. I'm having this reishi turmeric tea, and I feel great. I feel great. I feel ready for anything. It's really, really like that. That's the craziest thing around. Hi, Nancy. Cholesterol writes, what do you think of fat skin connection, aka eating saturated fat equals young look? You know, I'm not qualified to make any sort of scholastic pronouncement on it, like as if I'm an expert, but it does appear that having a healthy fat intake does contribute to your skin, your collagen levels. And I don't know if that's something that is just anecdotal or appears that way. I notice that when I do extremely low fat for long periods of time, my skin dries out and it doesn't feel as good. It's just now cool enough for me to drink. I've been sipping on it, but it still burns going down. I just took it off the stove about 10 minutes before the broadcast here. But I do think that that fat intake does definitely accommodate the body's use of proteins and various aspects to our health. If I don't do any fat, if I do extremely low fat, for instance, like a fruitarian or something that's really extreme, then I'll know it because I'll start to dry out. And I'll leave it to the people who wanted to debate detoxing to determine if that's healthy or not. They say things like, well, you're detoxing or something. I don't really buy that because I've done it for too long and have found that it's really not suitable to me. But I'm calling this the gas station blues. I just threw that title there because it is, in the process of moving, it is extremely stressful. When's the last time you moved? Does anybody have any experiences to relate? It is very challenging. And actually, I'm doing this unplanned Sunday broadcast here. Normally, we'd be Friday live, but I'm doing it because my company relocated me. So I have everything paid for, and we were on the go and filling up the U-Haul truck and everything. And a lot of it was gas station food, which led to me eating the last 7 days very unhealthy. But I'm still going, and I just need a chance to de-stress. So I wanted to jump on the camera here and de-stress with everyone and enjoy my tea and formerly coffee, and maybe probably going to have this Piv after we're done here because I deserve it. But the challenge is I have to go back in about an hour, 2 hours, and do more work. I've been hitting it every day. I've not had a day off, so I am very stressed. I'm very pushed, and I need to. Hi, Franco. Franco says you picked one of my favorite gas stations. Listen, you can go in Valero. The coffee's great. Shell Station 2, the time-wise. There was a big lady at the counter who was saying, we have a sale on these, and it's only $1.08 with tax to fill up. So I said, hey, what the heck? I'll go ahead and take one. And I did. And it's just good. I mean, it's just good. Gas stations can be good. But of course, the lesson here that I'm bringing to you guys, just like with the splurge and just like with eating bad, you can do that for short periods of time and still be in control. You're never out of control unless you're out of control. If you are mentally out of control, that's when you're out of control. Hello, JM. I have never been to France. I have heard so many beautiful things about it, not only about the culture and the scenery, but just everything. How far away did you move, Joe, from your previous home? About 200 some odd miles. So nothing is, I still got stuff to get rid of. I got a few boxes over there in the corner you can't see, you don't want to see. And I don't have much. I really don't have that much, but I do still have the house in San Antonio. My parents are there right now, and the kiddo is there right now. But I'm if you put in San Antonio to Houston, you'll get a Kingwood. I'm North Houston, up by Conroe area, so it is very north, but it's a little bit of a drive. Like you're wanting to stop on the way and jump out and make a pit stop. And I had to do that so many times. I had to come back and forth. I interviewed for the position, and it was a lot of back and forth. But you know what? You do that because if you have value to give to someone, then why not give it? I mean, we're here, right? Why not live and be productive? Suka Hughes says, hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're only going to do about 30 minutes today, folks, because I have to get back in. But I wanted to let some of you guys know, listen, this is crazy, the amount of activity that can have in someone's life. And some people write me emails like, hey, you're immune to stress. You don't care at all. I'm like, no, that's not true. Because I do feel it. I do feel it. Like these past 2 weeks have been so stressful. I've been red in the face. Just, I now have a department, and I know I have, have to handle claims for a property. And I'm going to try to take the rest of today after this meeting with VIPs. I'm going to deal with more important stuff, and then I'm going to just sit around and do probably nothing. I might make another video. I have several more in queue that I haven't edited yet, but I do want to get back to that when I can. HM Doc donated $10 more. I'm off all of my diabetic, high blood pressure, and cholesterol medication because of your channel. You don't even understand how your channel has changed my life and many others. Thanks for that. Folks who are just joining the stream and or are watching this in the recorded form, look at that. It happens all the time. I get lots of messages like that. It's absolutely within your power. And of course, that's the greatest thing, to realize you always had that power. All I did was, just kind of hold a mirror up and say, here's where you're at, here's where you could be. Thank you so much for that. Wendy says, thanks so much, Joe. I needed to hear this today. I am not out of control. Maybe that's what I should title this. I kind of like the ring of gas station blues, though. I think that's cool. I beat myself up for days when I slip up. No, go up. And, you guys know I have been putting on weight and putting on muscle, and I haven't been able to work out, so I've been stressed out about that. I thought I was going to gain like 10, 12, 15 pounds, and I went on there and I was down 3 pounds. So, and I went out to eat at Chachi's Mexican restaurant here in Kingwood. Excellent place, by the way. Excellent habanero sauce for those of you who love it. And then my cousin was leaving town, so I visited him. I took him out to eat. And then after that, I went by and got a McDonald's ice cream. I got a couple of hamburgers. I got some Reese's and EL fudge. And this was a good old-fashioned, crazy, gluttony, all caution to the wind splurge day. So this was like me 5 years ago. And let me tell you this. I was laying in that bed in there going, oh, like old school. But I realized all the while it was a decision I made. So when you say I am not out of control, that's exactly what it is, because, I'm going to lay around and then I'll feel better in about 8, 10 hours. It took me 18 hours to finally feel normal again. And I said, I am not eating all of today. So I went all the day before and then today without eating. So we're going on a third day here to reset. Well, my body, just like in times past, my body is right there for me and is coming back, online, because you're not going to do that. And once you know I am not out of control, you're good. You're good. So by eating an ice cream or a pizza or a plate of spaghetti or something, and then going crazy later and realizing, hey, here's where I am. You're not out of control because you haven't left you haven't relinquished control until you decide to. When you are a person who doesn't know these things that we're talking about here, and you're sitting around and you're saying, I don't care anymore, that's when you're out of control. When you say, just screw it all. I'm just going to eat all day, and then whatever I want tomorrow, I'm going to eat. Well, now you're in a self-destructive pattern. Now you've lost it. So remember that. I am not out of control. That's really, I think, a great thought for a title here. But you realize the spontaneity of this stuff, folks. It's not something planned. I didn't even think about going on. I just had 3 hours to kill. I said, let me just jump online and see how everybody's doing. So that's kind of how some things work. Joe, I just wanted to say thank you for helping me so much. You were an inspiration. Franco says, thanks, Franco. Hello, sir. Yeah, Bunny Down says, hello, sir. What do you think of bodybuilding on such a diet? Oh, man. It's great. I'm doing that right now. I'm up to 213, actually 210, about 210 of leaner body mass with strength. And my goal is to put on strength and muscle. And I don't honestly know how far I'm going to go with that. I might gain another 10 pounds, but I might not. Okay. See right here, I got somebody else needs me, but they can wait. So the challenge is knowing yourself, and that's always what it has happened with me. I need to know what I'm at that point in life now where I need to decide what's going to happen 10 years from now. But of course, I don't have to hurry. I don't have to race along because I know that whatever I do, I'm in control. And that gets back to what we just talked about. Nancy says, love, OMAD, my thyroid levels and blood pressure are down. Thanks for all your help. Take care of yourself during your move. Hey, it's done now. I'm ready. I'm able to relax. God, what do people want? All right. But that's the beauty of it. But Nancy says thyroid levels are down. So I'm assuming you mean your TSH levels. That's great. That's super. Are you getting sunlight? Are you getting staying active? That's the key. Keeping your stress levels low and manageable. And let me tell you, folks, another lesson here is that sometimes your stress levels will creep right up on you, and you feel like you got it handled, and you don't. When you're sitting in a hotel room and you've just eaten junk, and then it's the third day and you start to feel headachy because you start to wonder if you're in control, but that's a natural part of the process. You are in control if you decide you're in control. Thank you, Nancy. Big P says, hello, Joe. I have been doing OMAD in the past 7 days, doing a zero carb, but I have stopped losing weight. In fact, I have gained a pound. Is my body angry, or am I doing something wrong? I don't know if you will want to continue with zero carb. I think it's a bad idea. It has never worked for me. I would lose a bunch of water weight and I would stop. I would start getting cramps. I would start getting raging headaches, and my breath would get so bad that nobody could be within 4 feet of me. I find that I lose better on higher carb. I do. It can even be junky carbs, but when I do something like rice and peas, when I do high starch, I lose weight better because it burns off faster. And let me tell you this, so many of you are finding this out, that the low carb thing is really not a great long-term strategy because you can't maintain it. Some people can. I'm not saying you can't or won't, but if you're just starting, you may be at that point where you've kind of hit the bottom of what you can lose for now, and then you're going to stay there a while. Remember, a plateau, this seems to be the things that people forget. A plateau can last 3.5 weeks. It can. You can stay at a weight and bounce up and down for a while. It'll be your choice if you want to continue with low carb, or in this case, zero carb, which I think is terrible. You're not going to have any glycogen storage for quick activity. You're going to feel terrible. You're going to feel like you need to lay down extensively. When I did that, it was no joke. I couldn't do any of my work. I couldn't do any of that when I did zero carb. I would never do it again. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. If for whatever reason you've been told you need to do that, I would reassess, because you just may find that you do better with starch. And I'm talking about diabetics too. I get people that have been told that your blood sugar won't be in control. You won't, and then they convert over and they realize that if you're eating once, you're not in any danger. Your body will make, you'll keep your muscle and lose your fat, and you'll have to adjust, but you're not going to lose control of your body blood levels, and you're not obligated to eat one way or the other. But I wouldn't worry about that at all. If it's only 7 days, I would worry about going zero carb. I don't think you're going to find that you can do that. Most people, even gurus, just like in the vegan community, we find out people are cheating. A lot of these zero carb people are not really zero carb people. They're cheating. I don't have a lot of confidence in it. So that's an important thing to consider. Does OMAD, Bugs Bunny says, does OMAD cause gallstones? The only thing that will cause gallstones is if you already have them and you shocked your body into experiencing them. If you've been eating 3 meals or 4 or 5 meals and plus snacks, like most people have when they find OMAD, and then you realize, oh, I'm going to stop. I'm going to only eat once. Your body's going to protest. Your spleen will hurt. You will start to get those weird cramps in your gut lining, outside of your gut lining. And you will find that it is very difficult sometimes to adjust. But no, OMAD cannot cause gallstones. And if you're having an issue with those and you want really quick help, start drinking only distilled water. Get about at least 64 ounces a day. And anytime, cook with it, do everything with it, because what it's going to do is create a negative charge. It's going to erode very quickly any gallstones you have in your body. We're talking like 2 weeks, a month. You'll knock them out if you do have trouble. If you have a gallbladder attack or a gallstone attack and you have to go to the hospital, you might have to, but I doubt it. I wouldn't stop doing OMAD if that's where you're going. I'm a Kroger person, and this Wild Red diet soda that I filled this up with is actually good. You can get it at Kroger when you want just to change your taste that isn't sweet, and it's very, very good. I'm glad. Sometimes those off brands, like those generic brands, Dr. B and all of that, they're not as good as the original, but Wild Red from Kroger is actually really good. Another one that's really good is Dr. K Diet Black Cherry. If you like black cherry that is super sweet but no sugar, you can get those. I should have brought it over here. But yeah, Bunny Down says, check out Jerry Teixeira's channel. Someday he's your age, I believe. Building muscle mass using calisthenics, complex exercises. Great hormonal response. Yes. And anytime you hit 40, folks, you're going to find that the tendency to put on a gut and to lose your muscle mass starts to be an issue. And I have guys that I'm training and have mentored who are just touching their 40s now or about to, and they're starting to find that if you don't take progressive action on your muscles, and that's why I've chosen to gain weight. That's why I've gone from 190 to about 210, because you need to get to a point where you're preparing for older age where you won't have as much muscle mass. And it is terrible to go into the store and see, old Betty Sue and they're like 85 and they look like this, and they have their arms are the size of their wrist because their body has cannibalized their muscle. And it's called sarcopenia. And it's something, if you go and you look at various health people online, actually, you'll find that they are actually, it's very common with people who don't get enough protein too, which, by the way, is one of the reasons I don't get rid of animal products, because you so easily absorb the protein. And though I'm basically a plant-based eater, I still I make sure I get enough protein. That's another discussion, I guess. But I'll check that out. I've not heard of Jerry's channel. I'll go and take a look at it. Thank you so much. Mika says, Franco says, Mr. Pibb, a spinoff of Dr. Pepper. You know what, though? It's really not. It's kind of different because it tastes really strong in terms of, it's a spicy cherry. And I love cherry and I love black cherry. It's one of my, I don't say one of my weaknesses, but it's one of my food fetishes. I'll go a long way for a cherry syrupy drink that just tastes good. This reishi tea, it's the craziest thing because it tastes like it's artificially sweetened, but it's not. And it doesn't have calories or none to speak of. And it is, when it goes down, it's like you're drinking ginger. So it's sweet, but not sweet. So that is, pretty much the broadcast for today. I just wanted to jump on and reach out to everybody. Thank you for those who contributed once again. I'm so glad that I could be an asset to each of you. I'm going to look forward after today, after this meeting, this one more meeting gets done. I'm going to get some rest. I'm probably going to watch some TV and do some less productive things. And then that is really about it. Javier says, should I calculate my calories to lose weight in OMAD? It depends if you want to. Are you afraid you're getting too much? What's the story? Are you worried that have you been experiencing slow progress? Or usually if you're eating once, it's going to be really hard to get too many calories like that. If you are insulin resistant or there's some other condition that is aggravating your journey, then you might consider it. Some people have the ability to put down 4,500 calories in a meal. Not many. I knew my friend, my late friend, Anthony Clark. He's a powerlifter. You can look him up in Powerlifting USA. He's held the world's 820-pound reverse grip bench. He's one of the strongest people ever. Truly amazing guy and one of my mentors back in the day. He could eat. He's one guy who could eat 10,000 calories in a meal, and I'm not kidding you. We went out. He ate 75 fish fillets, plus dip, plus marinara, plus fries, plus bread. I've never seen anything like it. But he did that because he had to have the strength and the weight to be functional. So in answering this question, are your calories, do you feel like you're not using the calories you're taking in? How active are you? Are you running? Are you lifting weights? Are you just sitting around doing an office job? If you follow the one plate rule that I talked so long about in other videos and in the first videos of this channel, you will not have any problem quickly getting into a deficit. I know there are a few exceptions, but really you're just office job. Okay. So what I would do is add in the therapeutic walk and get sunlight if you're not already. Make the time, 30 minutes a day of walking, or an hour if you can do it. Put in your headphones, start walking around the block or on a treadmill even. You can completely augment and not worry about calories. If you want to, however, then start doing something like buying meals where the calories are already counted and lower the stress that way, so you automatically know when you sit down to a TV dinner, or if you are going to do a smoothie, or you're able to count the calories a little bit easier. The challenge with counting calories is like managing blood sugar. It's continually a big thing to monitor constantly. But if you don't mind doing that, then it's great. Obviously, everybody has to be aware of their calorie conscious, I say, not necessarily calorie counting. So if you're going to go out and splurge with a Big Mac and a milkshake, you're probably going to hit 2,000-3,000 calories. So you're going to be out of losing. You're going to be over 1,500 calories easily. But short of that, you may not need to. If it gives you peace of mind, then go right ahead. But just make sure that it's something you can keep doing and you can manage easily. Otherwise, you're creating stress and you're getting a stress response from it, and then that's something you can't continue doing. Randy Trucker, go to Randy Trucker's. Looks like you have a weight loss channel now, Randy. Randy Trucker's been following for quite some time. Check out his channel. Hi, nice to see you, Randy. Loved OMAD, Terry says. Had a hard time sticking to it, though. It depends on your lifestyle, and it depends on what you are able to, how you're able to manage. You may have to overhaul your lifestyle, whether it's changing the time you eat, whether it is changing how often you eat, like as in whether or not you have to cycle on or off, managing activity levels, managing your beverages. I think I'll do a video on that. I think it's a good idea. I filled this up about yay far, and I'm still working on it. It's just so satisfying. God, this Rishi tea is good. I'm going to put, when the video is edited, I'm going to put out the Rishi, the link on Amazon. They deliver it right to your door. So good. God, it tastes like, it just tastes so good. And it doesn't have cinnamon, unlike a lot of those where they add cinnamon. I can't do cinnamon. I do not like cinnamon. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up now, and then I will be back on again. Nancy Fry says, you were right. I am heading down to OMAD, and you were right. My blood sugar readings are going down 1 p.m., then 2 p.m., then 3 p.m. Today 5, still keto, but could change eventually. Do what works for you. Don't feel obligated to one or the other. Don't feel like you have to you may not even qualify as keto. It may be your own type of keto. You may not want to go that far, or you may. I get a lot of messages from people who realize their blood sugars usually go down after the meal. One of the shocks that people struggling with diabetes find is when they eat a larger meal or semi-large meal, they find that they go up, and then sometimes in the afternoon or in the mornings it gets high. What you're going to find, though, is with each meal it's going to start getting lower. If by only 1 point, it's going to start dropping until your body figures out what you're doing, and then you're not struggling so much anymore. What ratio do you think weight loss and keep it off is mental? What percent ratio? Ooh, I hadn't thought about it. Do you think people who are 50 plus pounds overweight stem from a mental problem? No, it's an adaptation problem. You've learned over the years, if you're one of those, you've learned to cope with food. You've learned to go out and give yourself bagels or French fries or cake when you're depressed. And then that becomes a mental issue. It's not like you're schizophrenic or crazy sort of issue. It is you developed a pattern. Maybe not you, maybe someone else. You're just posing the question here. What percent ratio do you think weight loss and keeping it off is mental? Well, it's really all mental. Yes, there are some metabolic factors like how fast you lose being a man or a woman or a person with a thyroid condition versus, but that's like 10%. Most of it is, or maybe 15%, but most of it is mental. It's you say, I'm going to enjoy this meal and then I'm not going to eat again. And when you know it, you know you've owned it. It's not a question anymore. It's like saying, I'm getting up in the morning and saying, I know I'm not going to murder someone. Well, I hope you're not. But if you have that much certainty, you say, I know that I'm not going to murder someone. I'm not going to steal someone's wallet. Well, most of us thankfully know we're not going to do those things. When you have that level of assurance with your food, then you're going to lose. I mean, there's no way you can't. There's no way you can allow yourself to be duped into some sort of defeat because you already know you have to. You've counted the cost, you've made the decision, and the rest is history. I knew that when I went in. I said, I'm not stopping for nobody. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to say, well, this is good enough. I'm going to hit 250 pounds, my first under 300 pounds. And then when I said I'm going to hit 250, I did that. And then I said, I'm not stopping. When you have that decision-making ability, if you just make the decision. And again, it should be as obvious as murder. I'm not going to murder someone. I'm not going to steal someone. I'm not going to do something that you wouldn't do. You know that. You don't get up in the morning and say, oh, I might murder someone. I might eat. Compare the two. What's the matter, Maribel? You have a broken heart. How is it? Because I'm going? See you next time? Okay. Well, I got it. Maybe another 5 minutes. But hello, Debbie Omad. I've said before, go to Debbie's channel. She is a support powerhouse of OMAD and has seen her own wonderful success. I'm just jumping on. So, but good to see you, Debbie, as always. Love when you're live. Maribel says, thank you so much. Just want you to know you were right about this. Well, I told Nancy, I said, you'll probably find that your blood sugars will go down. And most people, they find that that's true. Very few people who have like an autoimmune sort of diabetes are the only ones who don't see an improvement, but even they sometimes see an improvement. One thing's for sure, folks, if you're eating all the time, if you're eating multiple meals, you won't see an improvement in diabetic numbers. You won't. And it should make sense because the more you eat, the more your body has to process the food, makes it more difficult. Thanks, Tim. Debbie Oman says, mind over matter, making a decision and sticking with it. For me, I make a promise to a friend, I keep it. Now I am keeping promises to myself as well. It's all excellent. It's all about, yes, you owe yourself the same. Why would we do, we treat ourselves, if we treated our friends that way, sometimes it's really bad because we're not on, treat yourself the same way. You owe it to yourself to be your best version, not to be one that's struggling with high blood pressure and heart problems because you're carrying too much weight. That's absolutely right. Why would we put ourselves on a lower pedestal? In order to help others, we need to help ourselves. If we're just killing ourselves caring for others, that's a self-esteem issue. One of the things here, being in Houston, we have to watch the weather because this area a year ago during Hurricane Harvey was in nearly 6 feet of water. I'm right in flood central. So, and when it rains here, it feels like harder rain. I mean, even on a normal basis, even a few drops, it just feels weird. Just thought I'd share that. We got a weather warning here. Tim says it's all about how you identify yourself at that point. Yes, completely, or nearly completely. Very little any other factor weighs in. Once you say, I'm going to do it, and this is what people take for granted because their personality, they don't have the personality to know themselves. So they go through life letting others make their decisions. So if somebody else is eating, they have to eat. If somebody else is snacking, they have to snack because they're worried about offending somebody. You see how that works. Their mind is not said, I can't do this. If you go to an office party, and I go to a lot of office parties, and you're the type of person who knows that you are an alcoholic who can't drink, it doesn't matter what your boss says. Hey, have a drink. You better tell them the truth, and they'll respect you at the end of the day more for telling the truth and saying, I can't have that, but thanks. I'll have something else. Just grab something. If you don't have that respect, you're actually shortchanging yourself, not just in weight loss. So it's the same. It's all mental. Ultimately, it is mental. You can do it. I can do it. Anybody can do it. If you decide, if you have the mental hardware that says, we're going to do it. Well, Maribel, I shall return. Thank you guys so much for today. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now and get on. And reach out to me in the meantime if you need some help. Other than that, stay cool.